Spielberg at the Red Bull Ring in Austria, and it is coming down with rain. It's just pouring with rain. The weather conditions really are very, very tricky in regards to grip, in regards to visibility. It's just really bad luck with the weather. But of course, nonetheless, we are looking forward to an exciting race here at the BMW M2 Cup. And before we get to speak to an expert and also some of the drivers, we have a little film for you because obviously BMW is supporting the new talents in regards on the track and off the track, but also a big topic is sustainability. So check out this little film.
Hello, I'm a student from Austria and I go to the Hotel Weiz. We are proud to present our zero-emission e-car today in Spielberg. We try to put as much interdisciplinary work in as possible.
We are very happy that the young guys are using our BMW battery, and also with our cup we are trying to be as green as possible also for the future.
Well, hello everyone. So this is a very sporty day here at the Red Bull Ring, but we made it on time, Jan, because I've got Jan Bodenbach here with me. You're the head of communication project 1. Whew, I'm out of breath. And we were just absolutely, yeah. And we just saw a little film, and I was saying that you guys are supporting the new talents on and off the track. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so we did the experience day just yesterday evening in order to have the chance to test some new talents for next year. Just that they get used to the car, that they can prove themselves if our platform is the right thing to do for their next career step. And so this is what we do beside driving in circuits, preparing the next season, 2023.
And did you spot some new talents?
Yes, so I think we've got some very young guys coming out of the kart, which are very talented, and I think they can show a good performance. We've got another woman maybe making their step into BMW M2 Cup, so I think we can be excited for next year.
Yeah, definitely. We certainly are, and we're excited. We've also got 2 ladies in the BMW M2 Cup now. And also, obviously, sustainability is also a very big topic. In what regards?
Yeah, so we think that top sport and sustainability can be friends and have to be friends. So we see the BMW M2 Cup as a whole package. The event side, beginning with logistics, we bring the cars with 2 trucks, 1 spare part trucks, and not like the team structure, 10 or 12 trucks for 16 cars. Hospitality, we have a pre-portioned, zero-emission cooked food in order to minimize waste and maximize the footprint, the green footprint. We banned plastic bottles out of the paddock, so we're all using refillable bottles. Here it is, right? So in order to have no plastic in the paddock. And then there is the racing itself. We had the race with an optimized fuel, so emission optimized fuel. And in the moment we are working on having a race with a full synthetic fuel. If this is going to happen this year, I'm not sure. But for next year, we're working on that. So we will be open for everything. And technology is key in order to keep what we love, the motorsport.
All right, well, sounds exciting. Jan, thank you so much. And I hope we still have time. Yes, we probably do. So let me just run over here because we've got Fabian Keim in pole position. And of course, we're just going to, let me just get rid of the bottle. And let me just see, Fabian, so starting in pole position, best position, but tell me about this weather. I mean, it's going to be so tricky out there, right?
Yeah, it looks quite tricky. A lot of water, especially standing water. So yeah, we do 2 or 3 laps behind the safety car and we check the conditions, and yeah, it will be a very, very tough race. Not like yesterday, but in different conditions. So yeah, it will be very hard.
All right, well, best of luck, Fabian. Thank you so much. And I just heard that we need to get off the track. So it's going to be an exciting race. And hopefully, yeah, these guys are going to master it. It's going to be tricky. So here's your commentator. Enjoy the BMW M2 Cup race.
Thank you so much for all your hard work in trying weather conditions down there. Verena, the superstar as always. So yes, as Fabian Kreim was saying, it's going to be altogether different to the race that we saw yesterday. Confirmation that our race is going to start behind the safety car. Now, probably at least 2 laps behind the safety car, I would suggest, as we look at Sean Fuster, who's going from P12 on the grid in the number 11 car today. Sean Fuster then finished on the in the points P10 yesterday. And one of our guest drivers here is Colin Bernighausen. And there you can see Colin, who had a good time of it yesterday and really enjoyed his guest appearance in the BMW M2 Cup. So just before our race, the DTM qualifying was on, and I think there was something like 3 red flags during the course of that qualifying, which is why we are rather late with our BMW M2 Cup race. Almost anything could happen. Now, Fabian Kreim and Maxime Osten and Lawrence Stegman, who are going from P1, 2 and 3 respectively today, had a fantastic race yesterday and delivered a great entertainment for us. It was Maxime Osten that bested everyone, and he took the race win. Altogether different today. The conditions really, really challenging. Now, what Fabian didn't say, and what I will say, is that with 30 seconds left for the start of the race, where the conditions become really treacherous for the drivers is, of course, if you're further back down the grid, because all the spray from the cars in front of you means visibility is extraordinarily tricky. So it will be a real test of our young talents that are in the BMW M2 Cup. And I have to say, with thanks to the whole team behind the BMW M2 Cup, including David Coltman, the drivers are trained magnificently and are really supported. So this, of course, is real-world racing, and this is what conditions can be like. So it's all part of the rich learning experience that our drivers take on board when they elect to drive in the BMW M2 Cup. So cars are off on what is effectively a formation lap behind the safety car, but the race has started. So the race has started behind the safety car, even though this is officially the formation lap. So we have 30 minutes plus 1 lap, and my prediction is that the safety car will stay out for probably 2 laps. I would think it'll take a careful look at the conditions. We'll probably speed up significantly on lap 2, then peel off into the pit lane and allow the drivers to race. 4.3 kilometers here at the Red Bull Ring. Elevation change from top to bottom, and we're at the top where we see the cars right now, is some 63.5 meters. 10 turns, 3 of them to the left, 7 of them are right-handers. And it's a real roller coaster, particularly after turn number 4. Here comes the grid in full for you. Fabian Kreim and Maxime Osten on the front row of the grid ahead of Lawrence Stegman and Bart Horsten. Good quality from Bart Horsten. Jarno Dow and Robert Heffler, Jacqueline Kreutzpointner and Tom Nittel. Then it's Alessia Kreutzpointner and Mikhail Makesh. That's the first 5 rows of the grid, so P1 through to P10. Ahead of Mark David Muller, Sean Fuster, Colin Bernighausen, Fernando Feller, brother of Ricardo Feller, and Senna van Soelen, who was something of a star in the race yesterday, and Aaron Venish. They occupy the final row of the grid, which is the 8th row of the grid. So safety car on track then, and all the drivers just sussing out the conditions. And the conditions are really, really challenging. And as I said, the race has started, and the race runs to a timed duration. 30 minutes plus 1 lap here with the BMW M2 Cup. We're very much reaching the sharp end of our championship, with following this race just 2 more races to come, both of those at Hockenheim. And the race order, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, that of course is not going to significantly alter whilst the safety car is out there. So sure enough, safety car stays out for another lap, and it might be that our race director chooses to leave the safety car out for even longer. My prediction is that this will be the last lap under the safety car, and then the safety car will peel off into the pit lane. But it is only a prediction from my side. I could be wrong. Safety car does speed up a little bit now to get the drivers certainly a little bit closer to race speed in these conditions, which will be significantly slower than yesterday, of course. So Fabian Kreim and Maxime Osten then having a real ding-dong battle in terms of the Drivers' Championship. And Maxime Osten, I spoke to him after the race yesterday because he, Fabian Kreim and Lawrence Stegman were having a really, really exciting battle for the P1 place. And I put it to Maxime that he used a strategy, really, because when he decided to make his overtake, it came quite late in the race. And so by so doing, it meant that Fabian Kreim didn't really have enough time in the race to come back at Maxime. And I posed the question to Maxime whether he'd considered that and thought about it before he did it. And he said, absolutely. It probably happened as we've got a red flag. The session is being stopped. It probably happened a lap later than I expected for... a lap earlier than I expected for Maxime Osten. Now, this is curious. We have a red flag, and I'm looking at my track map. I can't see that anyone has gone off anywhere. But the session has been red flagged. We await information to come from race control as to why. Now, the drivers that were running at the back of the pack, and as I say, I've got a GPS tracker map on one of the screens in our supremely comfortable commentary studios, I should say, and I can't see that any driver has... can't see that any driver has gone off, and just being told by my television director AJ that the session has been suspended because the cars, even at this speed, under the auspices of the safety car, are aquaplaning significantly. So that, of course, is a problem, and the race director has decided that the session is going to be red flagged. Now, these are young talents throughout the BMW M2 Cup. This is part of the learning experience, but of course, absolutely priority number one is driver safety. Therefore, the race director has decided that with that much aquaplaning on the track, going to bring the cars back into the pit lane. Now, interestingly, the clock is still ticking down, which doesn't always happen with a red flag. Sometimes the clock gets stopped. So even though we have a red flag and the session is stopped, the race duration in terms of time is continuing to tick down. So I can't honestly see, because the rain is still falling, I can't see how the conditions are going to improve during the course of the next 25 minutes or so. So the aquaplaning is going to remain a problem. So the clock is, I'm being told, going to be stopped. And but again, whether the clock is stopped or not is almost academic and irrelevant, because I can't see how the conditions will change. We await further news. So this is the BMW M2 Cup then, and the cars have been out for a, sort of 1.5 installation laps under the safety car. The race had started. There is a great indicator of just how heavy the rain is falling and how much standing water there is around. Now, that causes a number of problems because the visibility is really, really compromised if you're anything other than P1. And, of course, when you run into those huge lakes of water, then the cars do aquaplane. Basically, that means that a layer of water is between the tarmac and the tyres, which means that there is absolutely no grip afforded to the drivers at all. Verena is braving the conditions and braving them with the head of the M2 Cup, and that's Hans-Bernd Kamps.
I'm here with Hans-Bernd Kamps, and Hans-Bernd, that's really dramatic in regards to the weather, but I guess security comes first. So at the moment, the race is stopped because of the rain, because of aquaplaning. Do you think we will be able to continue? What do you think?
In the moment, it doesn't seem, because it's too much rain in the moment. And you have to understand we are a series from junior drivers, so they learn, and there is more security. We need it. We need that we have a safe situation, and for this we clarify everything.
We already saw in the DTM just before that I think we lost 3 cars. I mean, very experienced drivers, and they just slid out. So as we said, security is the main issue. But what do you think? Do you think that we will just wait? I mean, the cars are all lined up there. What's happening?
Yeah, maybe we have to pray. I don't know what is going on. But if you see the weather forecast, it will not be better until end of the afternoon. So I'm pretty sure that we can't start.
So we will see. But let's just talk about the BMW M2 Cup. I mean, I think it's a phenomenal cup because you're giving new talents the chance to race, and you support them on and off the track. And whenever I speak to one of the boys or girls, I mean, they're so motivated, and you can just tell how much they love it. And also talking to you, you always got a big smile in your face. I mean, you're the founder of the cup, so I guess you're pretty proud about what you created, because it seems to be really going the right way.
Yeah, it is special because for everybody the car is the same. We have a selection every race. The drivers collect or have another car, so it is all about the driver. And we have very good education. We have coaches who are giving all the data from the other drivers around, so there's nothing hide, and they can absolutely concentrate on the development of their own driving style.
And what I think is phenomenal is also that the winner of the Cup will have a chance to drive in the DTM Trophy. So really, I mean, it's just a jump into the career for the next step.
Yeah, you saw yesterday the winner of the DTM Trophy. He came out of this M2 Cup, and he's using the chance.
All right. And also, I mean, we saw in Spa a lot of action, and perhaps we're just going to have a look back. So we do see some racing. Let's have a look at the last race in Spa.
It's the BMW M2 Cup. The preparations are underway, which includes sport. Here we go then, the lights are out. Oh, race 8 in the BMW M2 Cup. After the incident for P1 and P2, it's now Barbie and Crime leading the race. And our final podium of the weekend at Spa. We look forward to seeing you at the Red Bull Ring.
So Spa obviously was a phenomenal race weekend, but Hans Bernd, yesterday here at the Red Bull Ring, I think was one of the most exciting races I've seen. I mean, we saw a battle between Maxime and Fabian, also Leonard also. So, but obviously between Maxime and Fabian, it's all about the championship, and then you had somebody else, trying his best to overtake. And how did you? I mean, wasn't that amazing?
Yeah, it's amazing, exciting, and you are nearly. It is for me. It's always something what you can't say in the beginning. So it happens something what tire development, how they use it, how they use the track, how much track limits they have, and so on. It's very, very exciting for everybody.
But I also thought it was so brave. I mean, we saw Maxime and Fabian always trying to overtake each other, and then yet it wasn't just a battle of two; it was a battle of the three. And considering the fact that there are also, in this series, you have boys, you have girls, you have rookies. It's just such an amazing mixture of drivers, and yet what it comes down to, I guess, is they all have one thing: that's a passion for driving and racing.
Yeah, passion for driving and racing, and they learn a lot. What you saw yesterday, we haven't had any damages or something like this. It was a very intelligent race. Yeah, so all drivers made a fantastic job, and you saw that they always develop, and we see immediately what kind of type it is. Is it someone who starts and goes over the limit, or someone who is developing step by step to the limit, and so on? And this is for us. It's always learning as well. So we learn every year, every race, so we can bring it to the concept, and we make it for next year. It will be better and better and better. You will see.
I bet. I mean, it's your second year now, and I already saw so much development there. And I just heard, let's just hear from the commentator. So we're just going to have a little pause, and here's your commentator.
Verena, brilliant work. Thanks to Hans Bernd Camps as well. And I have to say, to reinforce what Hans Bernd was saying, the credit goes to the drivers who the training that they're given, the guidance they're given from, people, not only David Kolkman, the head driver coach, but lots and lots of others within the organization of the BMW M2 Cup is such that the drivers are so creditworthy. And as Hans Burns said yesterday, an entire race, absolutely no damage, healthy respect among all of the competitors. So that was really, really good to see. Now, I'm given to understand that the safety car is going to go out and have another look again and just see if we can get racing. So my personal belief is that the conditions have not altered one iota between when the safety car pulled the cars back into the pit lane and where we are at now. But there we are. They're going to take another look. And clearly, the safety of the drivers, as Hans Bernd and Verena have been saying, is absolutely paramount. It is the #1 priority. Okay, so it's another one of the cars that's out there taking a look at the race conditions, probably just trying to peer into that car to see whether our race director is on board there. I think he is in the passenger seat, just to see what the conditions are like. So this is the race control vehicle going around just to ascertain what the track conditions are like and whether the running water and standing water is such that the aquaplaning problem that provoked the cars being brought back into the pit lane still remains. I fear that probably it is exactly the same, but obviously I'm in a position here in warm and comfort, as opposed to being out there on the track. So they, of course, will feed back that information, and from there on, we will ascertain and find out what is going to happen with this race. It would be such a shame that if we didn't go racing, but I completely concur that the most important thing is to consider that these are all young talent drivers who are learning their craft in motor racing, and therefore their safety has to become priority. There is an argument that these conditions will certainly impact and affect them in their racing careers in the future, and therefore it's a real balance in terms of whether they should go out and race or not. So as you can see, the race control car continuing to take a look at the conditions out there, and as I say, you can see the spray that's coming off the back of that race control vehicle, and this is just one of the many problems that face our drivers out there on track. It's not only the potential aquaplaning conditions, but it is also the visibility. If you're anyone other than Fabian Kreim, who's starting from P1, every single other driver, Maxi Mosten, Lauren Stegman, Bart Horsten, Jarno Dow, Robert Heffler, Jacqueline Kreutzpointner, Tom Nittel, Alessia Kreutzpointner, and the rest of the pack, all going to be affected by really compromised visibility because of the spray coming off of all the cars ahead. So that will also form part of their decision-making process, I would suggest. We will see. This is race 2 of 2 this weekend, and as I mentioned earlier on in the program, it's kind of the sharp end of the championship now, because there's this race today, followed by 2 more at Hockenheim in a couple of weeks' time. We go to Hockenheim on the 7th of October, and the weekend that follows on 8th and 9th is when we contest our final races in the BMW M2 Cup. And whoever, of course, wins the Drivers' Championship has the opportunity to be elevated into the DTM Trophy in the next step of their motor racing career. And as Hans Bernd was saying in conversation with Verena just yesterday, Colin Carasani, former BMW M2 Cup driver, taking the win in the DTM Trophy. So there is a real step ladder of progress designed for these drivers. When you come in and you're part of the BMW M2 Cup, there is very much a ladder for you to follow and be encouraged to follow, so that we, within the BMW M2 Cup, can send your career in the right trajectory. So the race control vehicle is taking another look at the race conditions here. Now, the Red Bull Ring is a real roller coaster. And as I mentioned earlier on in the program, the elevation change from the start-finish straight up to the very top of the track is some 63.5 meters. So big elevation change. And it's here where you can see that race control car now approaching turn number 4. This is where you begin the huge downhill section, this roller coaster that I talk about, going into turn number 5 now. And that long sweeping right-hander, which is turn number 5, which is absolutely critical, turn 4 and 5, almost as molded together as one turn, really, where if you're offline and it's very easy to be in the gravel very, very quickly. Turn number 6 now, which is where we're at. A little blast of throttle before the left-hander, which is turn number 7. There are some 10 turns in total. It's quite a short track here at the Red Bull Ring, 4.3 kilometers, and as I say, 10 turns, 3 of them are left-handers and 7 of them are right-handers. And there we can see that, in my opinion, the conditions are not looking any better from what I can see on my screen. Of course, our meteorologist, Verena, is down there in the rain. I'm sure you'd agree.
Well, yes, it's definitely pouring with rain, and I don't really see a difference in regards to the rain. Yeah. So aquaplaning is probably not going to have changed. It's probably just going to have gotten worse. But we're not the experts in regards to the weather. But let's talk about the drivers. So Fabian Keim is leading the championship. And let's not forget whether we'll be driving today or not. Fact is, we still got Hockenheimring. So the finale, we've got 2 more races to go there. And Fabian is leading. What do you think? I mean, obviously, we can't see into the glass bowl. And Maxime Oesten is definitely doing his best to pick up the points and make up the gap. But what do you think in regards to the championship?
So both have the chance, absolutely. Both are fantastic drivers, and they are good enough to make the next step after the season. That is the important thing, not only what is on the list or whatever, how they develop their driving style and so on. And both are winning types, so this for sure. So I don't know who will win at the end, and that's the fantastic thing.
That's the thing I think is so phenomenal, that everything is still open, right? So we're going to find out, in 2 weeks' time at the Hockenheimring at the finale. And I think it's also funny because Fabian and Maxime are completely different types of personalities. I mean, you see Fabian, who's usually, more focused and more, looks like he's always thinking. And then there's Maxime, who's just always smiling. Don't you think they're so different as possibly could be?
Yeah, that's a fantastic thing for us, to see the different type of people. Yeah, so you are right. But if you look a little bit more in the people, so see what they do. Is it the outside view, or is it the inside view, or whatever? So they are all nervous. That's for sure the situation. But they're on the way to be an absolutely professional driver. You have to gamble sometimes. You have to show something to the others and so on. And they are very good in the moment in this. Huh?
Absolutely. And we just heard that there's not going to be a restart, so we will not be racing in the BMW M2 Cup today, which is a shame, but it's kind of what we expected due to the weather, and security comes first. So it is going to be the final showdown at the Hockenheimring, and we are looking forward to that. So thank you so much for jumping in, Hans-Bernd Kamps, and now here's a commentator.
Well, yes, Verena passing on the very sad news that due to track conditions and due to the safety of our drivers and the protection of that, regrettably, we will not be racing here in race 2 here at the Red Bull Ring. Great shame, but their safety always comes first. It is of paramount importance. So, as Verena said, make sure you join us for what is going to be a fantastic showdown in Hockenheim at the beginning of October. Sorry we couldn't bring you any racing for today, but thank you for watching. Goodbye.